All right, Kathy. Looks like we're back on the air, guys. Kathy's a little split screened on us because everything that's going on. Kathy, just lean to the left or the right for a minute until we get Lynn back in here.
Lean this way a little.
Yeah, there you go. But we're going to wait until Lynn comes back before we get into anything else. We'll start this off kind of slow because of the screens. Guys, we are having to go through some technical difficulties. For some reason, Skype is being a pain in the butt and does not integrate with XSplit anymore. So I had to use an old version of XSplit. I did update and give y'all something to bet on. Is Gonzo drinking beer or whiskey tonight? It'll either be beer. Beer is 0, whiskey is 1. You can find that in there. So you would type, exclamation point bet 0 or 1 space the amount. So we're going to get things going. Before we get, and we'll make sure whenever she gets back in, because she's going to message me, or hopefully she'll message you, Kathy, of when she's back in. Excuse me. And I'll call her back. Guys, we've got some pretty big announcements going on. We are coming up on our 1-year anniversary. I'll kind of lean in and stuff until I can do this. Going up on our 1-year anniversary. So we're like super excited about what's coming up. Broken Egg Games and us are working on a few things. We showed you some of the pictures. We've got physical copies of stuff. So we are like this close until we're ready. What else? We are actually going to be doing something we said we would never do, but we are doing it. And we will... Oh, yeah. John and I talked. We left you out of the loop because we want to surprise you, too. But it's something good. But it's not going to be something crazy. It's just certain things that we're going to do. I'm getting stuff set up also.
John will never sing Maximum DT.
No, John will never sing. That's all me. And if you are a $20 subscriber on Patreon, please send me your song that you want me to sing. Because that is all up to you. I'm not going to pick a song because if I pick the song, it'll probably be like, another rap song, and I'm horrible at rap. Let's see. We're going to be adding, we're adding in a bunch of new things coming up, guys. We're also in the works with something that's coming up that I can't talk about yet, but it is something with Broken Egg Games that
why do people keep saying that? The Fifth Element opera song.
Maximum DT, you subscribe at the $20 level, and when we receive your payments, I will do it. You know me.
And the rest of us will wear earplugs.
Yes. But let's see. Let's go down to what's going on. We're coming up, like I said, on our 1-year anniversary. We are doing something we said we wouldn't do, but we're going to do it anyway. And it's not going to be something all the time. We are working on Broken Egg, not only on our token sets and stuff, but I received some of that stuff, and it all looks really good now. And that will go on sale pretty soon. Also, I have to get with Adam. Gencon's kind of course, putting everything on hold. And then we are actually working on something even bigger with Broken Egg Games that we just have to wait to see. Also, Xander, I need my song, buddy. Also, we are coming up on, like I said, our 1-year anniversary. We're going to be including some stuff that we didn't. We're going to open up a lot of stuff as a big thank you to everybody. Ms. Gonzo as a guest confirmed. I will ask her to come on one time and see what she says. I don't guarantee anything. All right. You got it. I will download it, get it on there, and I will sing it.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
I haven't heard that song in forever.
I think you could do that one.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be good.
I'll even do it with a soundtrack. I'll even do it with the music in the background, too, just so we can have some actual music. And we'll do it. Guys, we're still getting stuff ready. What else? We are actually going to be updating our Patreon in a little bit. Please make sure you go into the... Hey, Banyan. Make sure you go to the Facebook page, vote on this stuff. Look at Patreon. Because, excuse me, we got some stuff going on that we really are happy about. If you have not received something from us, and we promise to give you something, please let us know. Solazar today said that he hadn't gotten his Broken Egg game stuff, and I was like, what? And that was back in like February. Keep an eye on our Facebook page, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
Facebook page, and for Patreon subscribers, check those emails.
Yeah.
Because we do send things to you via email and let you know about new content and giveaways and things like that.
Definitely, because Kathy will be getting together with all the people that want to do the paint along with her. You need to check her emails for that. What else? Patreon subscribers. There's a new integration with and YouTube subscribers. If you're a YouTube subscribers, you will get integration within Twitch pretty soon. I noticed that, and so you can get rewards. We're going to be trying to go back and stream live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook coming up with the new stuff going on, because that'll help us out. What else? I don't know. That seems like a lot.
Oh, so the weekend
Lynn
after
back.
Gencon, I just wanted you to know, and everyone can know, I actually will be around. I previously thought I would be going to the first Adepticon staff meeting, which is like a weekend fiesta.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just too soon after Gen Con, and I'm pretty sure Jim and I are going to be dead. So we don't want to drive all that way and take all that extra time off after just getting back from Gen Con. So we will be around that weekend following Gen Con.
Okay. We're gonna have some new stuff. I have stopped my Twitch stream on Tuesday and put it to Wednesday, because we're also doing that as the RPG, and so just do it all at once. I'll do it every Wednesday instead of like every other Wednesday. That way it'll be more direct. Also looking to do a stream on Saturday morning. I'm not 100% sure on that, because it all depends.
Like Saturday morning cartoons?
Yes, it'll be Gonzo's cartoons. Is what we're gonna do.
Like Shaggy and Scooby?
No, more like HR Puffin stuff. What else? Oh, there's so much stuff going on. I mean, I have been super, super busy with podcast stuff these last week, guys, that you just don't know. Contact with Mechanica Studios, contact with Dan from Tectonic Craft Studios, Broken Egg Games, what else? Changes to the stream, changes to the Facebook page. There's so much stuff going on right now.
And Congo says the Twitch doesn't want to cooperate with him. That's okay. No technology wants to cooperate with any of us right now, and I'm going to blame solar flares.
Congo, we are going to try to integrate some other stuff to it. So far, there's been a lot of new integration with things that we're probably going to be including YouTube and Facebook back into this. I'll have to
They say that the new updates will allow Facebook to work better with XSplit.
Correct, and that's the reason what we're going to do. We're going to try to do that. So we will go ahead. I know we've been blabbing. Just pay attention to Facebook, guys. We've got a lot of stuff coming. If you see us spamming a lot of information, it's not that we're spamming. We just got a lot of information that we'll be telling you that you're just going to... Some of it you're going to flip out. Some are like, oh, okay, it's just Gonzo. But there's a lot of cool stuff coming up.
And John will continue to post his hobby streak pictures, and I will continue to post pictures of the models that I work on in my painting stream every Monday and Thursday morning.
It's always just Gonzo. But there's gonna be some really cool stuff coming up. Not only for the stream, but also for our stuff that we're doing. Like I said, so we've got a lot of cool stuff coming out. Something I'm really, really proud of, and something I'm just super, super excited for. What else? Go check our Patreon out, guys. We're doing a lot of cool stuff right now. A lot of stuff that I was really surprised at what other people charge for their Patreon. And compared to what they're offering and what we're offering, we're super, super cheap. And I like that because that's what we want to do. We're still waiting on Lynn to come back. It's not a big deal. But until then, Kathy, let me fix this for you. This is kind of a pain in the butt.
You want me to sing what?
No, I don't want you to sing anything.
No one wants that.
All right, let me fix that. Lynn should be coming back pretty soon, but we'll go and get the bet passed on. Hopefully everybody's done their betting lap because I'm going to shut it down in just a second. Make sure you bet. Looks like a lot of people are just like out of money. We're going to stop. Kathy, what are you drinking tonight?
I've replenished my supply of Kraken, so I am drinking Kraken and rum, although so yesterday was our once a month gaming at our friend's house, and I was honored to share the birthday Glenfiddich. And oh my god, it was so good. I love scotch. I love good scotch.
I am actually drinking whiskey tonight. I have some good old Maker's Mark going on.
Isn't that a bourbon?
Whiskey bourbon. So I've got a good old Maker's Mark coming to me. Haven't had any Makers in a while. So but a little bit of a two-finger. I'm going to be drinking that tonight because I ran out of beer. So we're down to that. Guys, thanks for joining us. Y'all mean a shit ton to us. Whether you listen to us on your streaming device, whether you watch us on Twitch, whether you support us on Patreon, you donate, whatever, y'all make all the cool stuff happening in my life right now. Whether it be whatever. So with that, I think we're going to cheer to our fans. Here's them.
Cheers, cheers to all of you.
Oh man, that's good. Damn, that's good. I'm going to go and switch it over to the painting cam. Lynn should be in pretty soon, guys.
Third guest is a drink.
Third guest is a drink. We're going to switch to the painting cam. And when she gets in, we'll start the conversation on that. I am working on the Silvestro. I went with the brown leather type look for him. Hopefully it comes out pretty decent. I need to... Today I'm going to work on the liquid gas stuff. And
I like the liquid gas stuff. I don't know if you need to do anything else to that.
Well, I need to touch this up, the smoke area. I need to dry brush it with some black and gray.
That's the part I'm looking at, and I'm looking at it like it's done. It looks done to me.
It's not. It needs to be touched up. I'm going to do some dry brushing on it just so I can hit the tops of the smoke. I need to add some more green to the flask, and I want to add yellow to this flask and a blue to this flask. Just give it a little bit different color.
Okay. Yeah, I really like
color.
how that smoke is going.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I may do this one as a green also. And then I need to work on the base. and get that going.
I swear I thought he had bagpipes. It turns out it's just exhaust pipes,
Just
which
exhaust pipes.
amounts to the same thing, really.
So, other than that, everything else looks pretty decent on them. I'll probably do some more highlighting on the leather just to bring that up a bit.
Is his hat going to be leather too? Or metal?
Leather and metal. This leather
Okay.
around here and the top. Yes, it is Maximum DT. It is a Crucible Garden model. A friend of mine had an extra, and so I just bought it from him. So when I get done painting it, I'm going to give it away like usual. Let's
Cool.
see if she's back. I don't know if she's sent you anything yet.
Now,
I'll just do another invite for her. Um, we'll see if she comes back. Yeah. Guys, we're also going to be doing some stuff with our sponsors. Our sponsors are going to be changing things and the way things are being done. So be on the lookout for that. Also, what else, Kathy? Man, there's just so much stuff going on. We may go over just a little bit because of technical difficulties. Kathy, what do you think about this? I'm going to fill in the rest of this thing with the green in the bottle, but I think I'm going to take and I'm going to do a black line like it's, a graduated cylinder type thing. But I'm going to take yellow and kind of do like yellow right along the edge here and then go up a little bit with it.
sort of a little highlight kind of thing of yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get that going. The army box is hard plastic. What else? Hard plastic, metal. I think that was about it. I don't think I saw any rustic. There was nothing like the dread rots.
Lynn is getting ready to park in front of her house right now.
Okay.
That is the update.
All right. Just like anything else, everything changes. So I'm going to go ahead and get this painted up. Work on this while we're doing it. I'm not playing Crucible Guard, but a bunch of people, especially Congo, might be kind of happy. I will be going back to my Kador after War Machine weekend. So I've already started building lists and teching and doing what I need to. And speaking about Kador, how about that Wisconsin team champion where all three players were playing Kador and the entire team won? What do we think about that? Because that's actually
We
pretty...
don't think about that. Kador is the enemy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never played that game.
Yeah, I think it's really, really cool.
I'm just screwing with Congo.
Yeah. People were giving Tim and his team a bunch of shit because there was a lot of people that were saying that Kador's crap. And it's not that Kador's crap. It's just Kador has a lot of things they have to answer for. And them doing that this weekend is actually pretty freaking cool. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go along. Our Kador player is back playing, so it'll be interesting to see what he does with the new tech. I've already started building lists for after War Machine weekend about what I want to play, and I already bought my models, so just have to see it. What is this heresy? Kathy says nobody likes Kador. Kador is horrible.
Yeah, but I don't know what the hell I'm talking about because I've never played War Machine.
No.
So, you can take that however you want.
I'm actually pretty excited about what happened out there.
Let me get out my bust of Lenin. Maybe that will make you feel better, Congo. In the other room.
But it was pretty interesting that they did that. and won because of all the hate Kador has. We did get our local player to test out the new Scorn Battle Engine, which to me I think still needs a lot of tweaking, but was pretty freaking cool to watch on the table. That thing is badass, and I'm afraid of it. And I just smudged all over what I would just painted because I'm a dummy. We didn't even talk about what we did this week. Kathy, what did you do this week? Anything interesting?
I got my hair cut.
Woo woo!
I played games yesterday. I played Codenames last night, which was fun. We had the most hilarious game of Pit. Yes, the old-fashioned card game with the bell that you ding. But it's possible that it might have been the Scotch speaking at that point. And then there was a game a friend of mine brought called Donner Dinner Party.
Never heard of that.
Which was very much like Werewolf or Resistance, where you have cannibals in your party because, it's the Donner Party. And you're all struggling to survive, but there are cannibals. Yes, Xander, you eat your friends. And that was funny, too. There was one other game I think we played, and I don't remember, but we were just screwing around with some short little games yesterday rather than throwing down a big long game of Zombicide or Firefly or something.
Ooh, talking about games, I ordered a new RPG.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it the Genesis one?
And the Fantasy World that
Cool.
comes along with that is part of it. I ordered those, just wait for them to come in. May take a little bit.
That's the new Fantasy Flight Games RPG, right?
Yeah, it's for their new rule set. So I'm going to be looking for somebody to try to run that because I think I want to play in it. And since we want more RPG stuff, since y'all have requested more RPG stuff, we'll see.
I was going to say I would volunteer to play, but I have never ever run an RPG. So, yeah, not going to volunteer for that one.
Oh. All right, let's let this dry a little bit. I also worked a little bit on my Branch Wraith, and she is almost done. I'm going to work on getting her base done. I need my Dungeon Gray in here. Let me see if Lynn's back up, and I'll give her a call back. Let's see if she's available.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. I just got into the house. I was almost a half hour away from home, so that's
You're
why
fine.
it took a little bit.
It's all good.
That was the closest Apple store to me.
That just sounds like such a giant headache. And then with all the Gencon prep craziness, I know you're spending a ton of time getting prepped for that. And to have 6 hours taken away from you, that's like a sharp stick in the eye.
Maybe. Yeah, it really was. Okay, I'm connecting to my computer right now is what I'm getting ready to do, so.
Right on.
Right there. So, hold on, I'll be back.
Okay. Let's see, what else? Oh, you know what? Oh, we're waiting on that. Guys, Kathy, entertain them for about 2 and 2, and I'm going to go get some stuff.
Would you like me to tell you a story? So, I'm to entertain you. I'm no good at this. The entertaining. Gonzo is much funnier than I am. Sanders says he went to a grand reopening of his local game store. Ooh, So, what's the local game store? And why were they grand reopening? Oh, the owner's birthday.
All right. Since we're waiting on Lynn for a little bit, I want to show you what came in the mail. I have to take it because I'm going to be playing with it this weekend, or this Monday. The stuff that we've been working with, whatchamacallit, we've been working with Broken Egg Games. There's been a few things that came up. I'm going to move this to the side, move this out of the way. What else?
Okay, I'm here.
How about your video?
Working on it.
Okay. This week, guys, Broken Egg Games sent me the test product for some of the things that we've been working on with them, and I'm going to show it to you because, you know, y'all deserve to see what we're working on. So, give me 1 second. I got to get all the cool stuff. All right. We are doing proxy bases. Let's see if you can see that on the thing.
Put it on your painting cam. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, leg.
This is one of our proxy bases, and if you notice, the proxy bases have a notch mark on them for the arcing. That was what we're doing. So here's the small. Here's the medium, if you can see the markings on them. To make it easier to see. And then there is, of course, the large one, which has the markings on it. I'm trying to get these in camera. These are actual physical copies. The one cool thing... Yeah, Maximum DT, we're stuck like that until we make partner, which will be a very, very, very long time from now, because we don't have the viewership, which is okay. You should still get pretty good picture. Also, one of the things that we're doing is we are doing objective markers that you can write on, and this is one of the objective markers. So you can write... Oh, don't tell me I don't have a marker in here. What the heck is wrong with that? That's a permanent marker. I'm not going to write on it with a permanent marker. I don't have a dry erase marker in here or on my stuff. What? All right, hold on.
Fake it with a paintbrush. Wait, that didn't really sound right.
Okay. Everybody hear me?
Yep.
All right. So this is our objective marker. And so you have a pathfinder. You write path. And here's the damage. And so you can write on it. I know there's probably going to be some glare. So you can write on it of what it is. And then when you're done, just wipe it off. One of the cool things that we are going to have, which people have been dying for me to do this, is our tournament tracker. And
That's friggin' cool.
that way you can keep track of everything that you're working on and how long it's been there and rounds. And of course it's usable for any game. And it's actually real small, so you can fit it in your stuff, no problem. And of course it's all dry erase. Usable. And what I think is really cool and everybody's kind of excited for is we decided, since War Machine and Hordes does flags, and there's a couple other games that have it, we decided to do something that was really cool. Is here's the base for our flags, and here's the flag, and you pop it into the base and let it it's kind of tight, that way it stands up straight, and you have 3D flags to put on your table. Ta-da! That way you can have actual flags. These were the test run. So everything here should be exactly the way it is when we see it. I am super, super excited. Everybody has been dying for the flags and objective. And the tournament tracker, I know a lot of my tournament players are like, we want one because so and so has one, and we can't get one because we didn't weren't the cool kids. And I'm like, I got you, fam.
So
I
who is
gotcha.
it who did the artwork for us again?
The artwork was done by Mechanica Studios.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
Yes. Chris at Mechanica Studios did all the graphic work for us. And he's going to be doing more for us. But he's the one that did that. And, of course, Broken Egg Games is going to be the one that's going to be selling it. And we are going to have Adam on as soon as the affiliate store is up because there's some cool stuff coming with that. We will be selling those pretty soon. So just get ready for it. So, now that we got Lynn finally here. Lynn!
Sorry, yeah.
What you up to?
Well, I just finished losing half my day trying to get my phone fixed.
Did you like
And
just die on you? Did it die on you or what?
it just suddenly stopped sending messages. It stopped sending messages. And then I couldn't search for stuff online. And it was just being really weird. And I sat there and was like, okay, maybe I just need to be reset in the Verizon network. So I called Verizon. I ended up having to call them 4 times. And so that wasn't fun. So I lost 3 hours there. And then I ended up going straight to the Apple store. And they ended up having to replace my phone and my SIM card.
That's weird.
Uh-huh.
All right, guys. So, since we're back, we can go and go with everything. We may run over just a little bit tonight, guys, just because we're so far behind because of technology. Lynn, you run Metalhead Minis. What is Metalhead Minis?
I own Metalhead Minis. I do painting, consignment, and classes.
Now, I met you through other painters, pretty much.
Yeah.
And when I met you through other painters, the last time you and I got to know each other really well when you went to Oklahoma for an event, and you were like, I'm going to talk to this weirdo. And we got to know each other pretty well just by talking and BSing about life. But we started getting to know each other pretty well when we started going. Of course, we went to all these different cons. Like, of course, Adepticon, which I can't go to. But you're also doing a bunch of classes also, don't you? You do what type of classes at Gencon this year?
We're doing beginner painting, beginner basing, drilling and pinning, blending and glazing, magnetizing and conversion, intermediate basing. It is like 18 classes altogether.
So,
I love that you have a ton of classes that are just for beginner types. You know, people who just want to, kind of learn the basics to get out of the just repainting 3-color minimum,
Yep. No, you have to because, there are, every time at a convention, especially one as big as Gen Con, there's always newcomers. Always people new to the hobby or trying to get a refresher. So you have to make sure that you have something available for them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why leave them out, And kids too. A lot of times in our classes we get kids, parents who are hobbyists that pass it down to their children. So they always bring their children to our classes too, which is also awesome because we get to watch the kids grow up if they come to Gen Con every year.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So there's some kids that still come to my classes that I've known since they were like 5 or 6 coming in and painting in my class, and now they're teenagers.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how did you get started, in the hobby and, the commission and all that stuff?
I've been in the hobby since 1997, but I only did it for fun. And then how I got into it as a job was I used to be a lead technician for Verizon, and I got laid off when all the layoffs were happening in like 08, 09. So I got laid off, and because I worked so many hours, I was still doing school full-time to finish one of my degrees, but it was like making me crazy. that I needed to do more. So I ended up going to the GW store and painting all the time. Then I found out Reaper was right by me, so I went to Reaper, started painting there and stuff. And then next thing you know, as I was sitting there painting and doing stuff, people were like, "Hey, can I pay you to do this? Hey, can I pay you to do that?" Like every service that my company provides was dropped on our lap.
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah.
literally everything was just dropped on my lap. The painting, okay, can I pay you to paint this? Can I pay you to paint this? And everybody kept doing it. And then I was just like, well, I might as well turn it into something. Then one day, one of my friends came to me and said, hey, I need you to help me sell my shit. Otherwise, my wife is going to put me out in the street. So next thing you know, we started getting the hang of it real quick. And hey, I should do consignment. And then next thing you know, I have a consignment service. And then
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, and then I sat there and I was at Gencon, my first year at Gencon. Hey, so and so can't teach this class. Can you go teach beginner painting? Sure. And I go, and next thing you know, Metalhead Minis has been a premier event for Gencon for years, and now I run the whole part of it too.
And that's amazing. That's going to be cool because it that whole thing really needed somebody who is really organized, and I know that you're a very organized kind of person, unless Apple throws you for a freaking loop.
Yeah, right. No kidding. And I'm still gonna get shit done. Watch me. I might not sleep tonight, but I'll get it done. Watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You sit there, and I've only been at Gen Con once. And when I was at Gen Con, I went as, an observer and never did anything, just a nerd and a geek. What does it really take to put on a demo or a class at Gen Con? I mean, like from the beginning to the end, what do you have to do?
For us, it's a pretty huge friggin' undertaking. I don't mind it because my attendees are super duper happy, but like it's really you get out of it what you put into it, basically, right? So. But so most people, when they do their classes, if people that we have come in and instruct, they'll usually like either bring stuff just for their classes or whatever, and then that's it. But for me, I do more than that, so I got to sit there and do all the stuff for the class. I've been doing postings of it too. Like you got to sit there and I have to go over all the handouts, make sure all the information is up to date, and then go through, and then I have to print enough copies for everybody. So we do enough for like 20 people in each class. So I do like 360 different copies of handouts and stuff, which takes thousands of pieces of paper. And then I have to sit there and make sure I have enough models for everybody in the class. And then we have to prep them. And then at the same time, I'm also prepping the paint and take minis for Gen Con, along with some other people doing that. And then I prep some of the speed paint minis too for Gen Con. And then I also make sure for my own classes that there's enough other supplies for the other classes, like enough green stuff for everybody, that everybody gets a certain amount of green stuff for the intermediate classes. Then I make sure I have enough bases, and I have to make sure I have enough tools. Sometimes you have to reorder tools if they're worn down. Like, if brushes are worn down recently, I had to buy 25 sets of new brushes. And then then for the drilling and pinning class, because that was a new class, I had to sit there and meticulously go through, and we had to pick out which were the best rods to get for the pinning, and then ordered 10 pin vices and and stuff like that. So there's really a lot. I mean, I'm probably not even covering all of it. I'm just going off the top of my head, but there's really a lot that I do to sit there and get ready for it. Like it literally takes months and months of planning and going through and going and buying stuff. And in this case also, I since I'm starting to to run the whole thing now, not just the classroom area, I already bought stuff to make changes to make things nicer for the classroom and stuff like that. Like I bought table markers so that people can walk in and see what table numbers there are, instead of having to have someone always point them to where they need to be, to make it easier for the teachers and for the students. And then also I made plaques for inside the competition case, so that when people look at the competition case, they know what category they're looking at.
Nice.
Yeah. And
but okay, so you got all these supplies and everything that you're having to get. is this coming straight out of your pocket? I mean, how do you? I mean,
I do, yeah. I don't mind it because I get the money back. I get paid for doing Gen Con anyway.
okay. Now, whenever you
That's,
do this,
that's
do you go to Gen Con and do you just have them? You people pay for the class, and they come and sit down. How many people are you expecting to see in your classes this Gen Con?
Every Gen Con within the first 10 to 20 minutes of registration opening, the classes sell out.
And how many people is that? That's what I'm asking.
Gen Con has the max up there of 15, and then we always have a waiting list too, and we tell people that we could fit in up to 5 extra people in each class. That's why I said I do enough for 20 in each class.
Gotcha.
It's just that the thing is that on the Gen Con site, when you submit your events for those classes, the max on there is 15.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I sit there and tell them. But I mean, like, not every instructor is comfortable with doing that. But me, myself, I can sit there and even do more than that if I want it, but I just don't have the space. They only give you so much space at the tables.
Yeah.
So that's usually what I do. And that makes people happy, too, because then they don't feel so discouraged because, say they put one of the classes on the wish list and then they couldn't get it,
Yeah.
I like to try and give people a good experience when they come to something big like Gen Con.
Well, I mean, Gen Con is huge. I mean, there's plenty of stuff to do at Gen Con. If you're bored at Gen Con, you need to rethink why you're at Gen Con.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I have a friend who seems to always go through the exhibitors hall, and then after the whole 4 days is over, he's like, yeah, there just wasn't anything there I was interested in. And I'm sitting there thinking, what? What?
Oh, I see.
At
there
some
was
point,
always-
you're just being overly critical.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people just don't have nothing better to do.
Oh, hi, John. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, you're supposed to be partying, not hanging out with
No,
us.
man, his life is over. Thanks for the subscription, John Spencer.
Ah, thank you, John. Muchas gracias. We appreciate
Muchas
it.
gracias.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to be real careful. This is not going to work. Okay.
So
Let's
is
fix that.
there anything, Lynn, that you're going to be doing besides all of the work you're doing for the hobby, the miniature hobby area? Or are you just going to be slammed for time there?
Now, you know me, I'm always running my ass off for something, So sorry, this whole thing is just giving me 051918. So yeah, I'm always going through and running around and doing miniature related stuff. I'm gonna have somebody with me that's gonna be their first Gen Con, so of course I'm going to want to run around with him and show him as much as possible and stuff like that. He's like super excited. Then all he talks about is doing coming to Gen Con, so he's really excited. But
Nice.
yeah, so I'll be showing him around stuff too, but yeah, other than that, yeah, you'll see me mostly doing mini related stuff, and then going to the booths and everything like that when I can, go see Ken, the usual, go
Mm-hmm.
see George.
What are you looking forward to at Gen Con? Because I mean, as someone that's in the mini hobby world and not just a fan, there's things that people are like, oh, I want to go see that, and you're like, I didn't know that was going to be happening, or I'm gonna go see that. I want to see this because that's a friend and all this other stuff. What are you really looking forward to?
Teaching my students in the classes.
No, I'm talking besides that.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much that, and dealing with my volunteers and stuff is pretty much all I do. Well, what I am looking forward to this year is showing Matt around at Gen Con, because it's his first one, and he's a big gamer and stuff like that. And so, when you bring somebody that you're close to or whatever, that best friends or family or whatever, and you bring them to something like Gen Con and it's their first Gen Con, it makes you excited about it all over again.
Hey, Salazar. Yeah, I'll agree with you. Are there any products you're looking forward to that you haven't seen yet or heard about? Or
Truthfully, not that I could think of. I know that Privateer Press came out with a few new paints, but that's honestly all I know. I haven't really gotten to see much of what everybody is coming out with for Gen Con. I haven't had time because there's really a lot that's been going on in personally in my personal life too. So I haven't really had much time to look at everything. So, but yeah, I just figured I'll be surprised if anything else. That's just what I'll do. I'll just be surprised.
what about Friends?
Well, of course, I always love seeing everybody. Hold on, I'm trying to share this too.
Uh
Yeah, I just figured I'll be surprised. Okay,
oh.
Double
I was
audio.
trying to show people. Yeah. Um. So yeah. So basically, friends. I'm always looking forward to seeing. I'm glad Kathy and Jim are coming, and that and Jen and Roy will be there, and all my MHE crew, and who else? The Dust Tactics people, the Forge World, and it's just I don't know. I always look forward to seeing everybody, Aaron and Liz, and Elizabeth Beckley, and Kingdom Death people, and Nessie will be there.
Oh yeah.
He's family too. He's also teaching some of the Metalhead Minis classes along with Scott Warren.
Oh
So
cool. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, we have Nestor will be teaching beginner basing, and he'll be teaching cleanup and prep also, and then Scott Warren will be teaching drilling and pinning and magnetizing and conversion.
Yeah, and it's funny because when you say, a class in drilling and pinning, and people think, oh, what is there to that? But I've run across people who don't know how to work a pin vise at all.
No.
Oh
no.
yeah,
So that's a valuable class. Especially also, there's those of us who it took a long time for me to figure out how to be pinning something where the arm is aligned with the shoulder socket, for instance.
yeah.
Uh yeah, there was a lot of trial and error because when I was figuring that out, it was before social media, and really all there was the forums, and you were lucky if you could find a tutorial about something like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I just for a lot of people though, like especially those that learn by hands on, it's actually beneficial for them, to have a class and what have you. And also the good thing about having a class is people have the opportunity to be there in person with the person who's teaching it, and then they could ask questions.
And these
They
are
could,
all hands-on classes, aren't they? It sounds
uh,
like.
all of my classes are designed to cater to all different styles of learning, including people with learning disabilities.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, our classes cater to anybody who can learn by listening, learn by reading, learn by hands-on, and then if you have a learning disability, we always are able to help in that regard too. So, yep. So we tried to make sure everybody learns as much as possible because it's
Excellent.
important. Yep.
I like that about the different ways of learning. I think that's important.
Well, the thing is that one of the biggest problems I always seen with people when they teach, they usually can only teach the way they know how to learn. So, for example, you could tell who the teachers are that usually learn by watching or whatever, because they'll be the ones that usually demo. Or you could tell the ones who sit there and can learn by listening or reading, because they'll stand there and just lecture you on how to do it, but
They'll
won't
give
show
you
you
a
hands-on.
handout.
Yeah, they'll give you a handout. Those are the ones who learn by listening or reading. And then, the hands-on ones, that's the ones that's all just hands-on classes. But what I noticed was over the years, because I've trained people and stuff in things like jobs and everything since I was 12. So that's how I learned over the years that there's a lot of cases where certain people are being alienated out from learning stuff because whoever's teaching them, like say you go to a job and you're learning how to flip burgers, and the person just sits there and tells you, and you learn by hands-on, you're like, well, that's all well and good, but can you actually show me hands-on how the hell to do my job? So you just alienated a person from being able to have a livelihood. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. And then if you got a person who learns by listening, but they're only showing you by hands on, then there's some things about it that they might not get. So again, that's another person that's being alienated. So I sat there and made sure that once I started teaching classes, that I designed them in such a way where every learning style is catered to. So not one person ever walks out of my class not learning anything. It's never happened. At least not yet. At least not that I know of. Well, except there was one person who supposedly only knew how to knit and sew, and so the husband or whatever complained on the Gencon forums because she went into the class about beginner basing, but she never painted a mini or anything in her life. You know, some people go into these classes and they're just like, hey, let me just try something new. So I figured that's why she was in the class. Well, it ended up she goes into the class and whatnot, and she didn't feel like the class was beneficial to her because she learned how to put flock on a base. Well, of course you're not going to find it beneficial, because what the hell are you going to do with the flock besides stare at it? You know what I mean?
And
You
now
went-
put a
you
model
went
on
from
it?
sewing and needlepoint to go into a basing class, and you didn't even know what the hell you were putting flock on plastic for. You could have asked. You know what I mean?
Of
Like,
all the
seriously?
classes
You could
to
have asked.
take, you gotta wonder if it was just because that class still had an opening in it, you know?
Well, no, I mean, it could. Well, some people also will sit there and, like, if Gen Con, when they go through and put stuff on their wish list, if things don't end up becoming available, then yeah, they'll sometimes just pick random shit. Or I think she might have even been one of the extras that I even allowed in and was like, yeah, come on, I take in strays, you know, whatever. And yeah, it was just, but yeah, the next thing you know, the husband complained on there. It was like $14, and then all she learned how to do was put stuff on a base and whatever. And I was like, well, that's the point of the fucking class. Like, what do you want me to tell you? You
It's in
know?
the description.
Yeah. Well, you could have asked, hey, before I sit there and spend my money, what am I spending money on? And I would have been more than happy to explain to you, you know?
Well, you mentioned at one point that you're doing a paint and take class. A paint and take class. What is a paint and take class?
It's not a paint and take class. Paint and take is an actual event that takes place in Gen Con at the second floor that has about 2,000 people that do the event throughout the weekend.
And that's where you just sit down and grab a miniature and start painting on it at your own pace, and then you can take it home.
Yep,
Right?
yep.
And you supply all the miniatures?
Yeah, well, we have sponsors and stuff. As a matter of fact, GW is one of them. This year, GW is actually sponsoring.
I like that they're getting back into the community in such a positive way.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man! I'm all about that too. Yep, I'm really excited about it. I thought it was great. They sent us like a bunch of you know, what do you call it, Stormcast and Primaris Marines. Sent us like friggin' 3,000 of them. I didn't get to do all 3,000 because obviously there's no need to, because we also got a lot of Reaper bones and stuff like that. But yeah, we did some of those. We prepped up some of those, so there'll be hundreds of those. And then there's Reaper bones again. And then there's going to be Infinity models, and yeah, there's like the Impact miniatures, and
So there's a ton of stuff to choose from for these paint and take.
oh yeah, for sure.
That's
Oh,
cool.
for sure. Yep, you just go up, you pick your mini, and then you go and you sit down.
And
then
paints and brushes are provided if you don't bring your own, right?
no, you don't have to bring paints and brushes. We supply all that. Got the plate, the napkins, the paint, the brush, everything. It's all there. You just go, you come visit, you say, hey, give us a mini, or you know, when it's throughout the course of the weekend, like Friday and Saturday, for example, there's usually a wait. So you wait for your name to get called, and then you come up, and then you pick your mini and you sit and you paint.
And what's the miniature painting competition about? I mean, I'm asking this. I've been to Gen Con a million times, but I have rarely. I used to work it, so I never had time to come up to see what the miniature hobby area was about. So, the painting competition all about?
Oh yeah, the painting competition. Well, I understand why you're asking about it too, because also changes have been made since Shannon took over, and then and me and stuff like that. Um, Starting next year, it's fully going to be me taking over, and this year it's me and Shannon because we're like transitioning over, if you will. I guess is the most sensible way to put it. And when Shannon took over, she turned it into an open forum competition, open format rather, which was great and very beneficial because what happened was at first Gencon only did like the top winners, which I understand how that would be more prestigious and stuff when you get the win and stuff. But what happened was it just seemed to a lot of attendees and stuff that the same people were winning
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't fair. And I agreed that that wasn't that from the outside looking in that didn't look right and that a change needed to be made. And when Shannon took over, she agreed with that also. And the thing is that we want people to be encouraged to enter and be in the hobby and stuff like that. We don't want people to sit there and feel like, oh well, it's always the same people that paint great. I'll never have a chance and whatever, because that doesn't keep you encouraged in the hobby. So
Mm-hmm.
we turned it into an open format competition, which is basically you win an award based on your own merit, not necessarily competing against about against someone else, right? So for example, say you paint I say I don't know, say you put in this model whatever, and if they feel that it merits a bronze, it gets a bronze. So since you're competing against yourself, that means next year you want to go in and you want to try and win silver next time, or maybe even gold, right? So it's to keep people encouraged and stuff. But the other Gen Con prizes are still there, first, second, and third place in each category, best of show, and what have you. So that's all still there and well and good. I don't know exactly yet what's going on with the manufacturer awards, because sometimes there are some manufacturers that partake and do manufacturer specific awards and do prize support. But supposedly there's been some changes in regard to that, and I don't know all the information on that just yet. But of course, I'll keep people updated when I know more.
Are you going to be doing updates through your personal page, or because I know you're going to be taking tons of pictures and social media and the whole thing? Are you going to be doing that through
It's
your your personal, or your Metalhead minis?
probably a mix of both. Do stuff. Yeah, probably do like class related updates, probably on the Metalhead Minis page. Do random convention stuff through my personal page, probably some on YouTube or whatever. I usually try to mix it around so that way, because not everybody follows the Metalhead Minis page, for example, and I don't want to leave people out. Also, Facebook sucks at making sure everybody sees what you put on your business page or fan page. So
Don't
of
I
course I want to
know?
put stuff on my personal page. Um, but yeah, so I mean, so that way people can actually see it, and then YouTube, for the YouTube subscribers, post stuff on Twitter, so that the Twitter people see stuff, stuff like that. So I really try to mix it around, so that way people, everybody gets a chance to see something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, definitely, yeah. And all my posts are public on my personal Facebook, so you can totally feel free to, any of you that are on there, you can feel free to
Stock
check out.
Lynn.
Yeah, Lynn Stahl on Facebook, LYNSTAHL, and then you can go ahead and go through the pictures and stuff like that. I don't mind. So yeah, good times, good times. I'm exhausted, but good times. I don't even think I know what I'm saying here half the time because I'm like
Uh,
so friggin' tired.
Well, I mean, it's a big endeavor. I mean, Gen Con is one of the most premier events of all time of any nerd convention,
True.
next to like Adepticon.
Yeah.
And so it's a huge thing. It's not like I help with War Machine Weekend. War Machine Weekend is just War Machine stuff. Gen Con is every nerd thing you could possibly think of.
Oh my
yeah.
God, I know
It,
it.
And you always want to try and welcome people who don't know about your particular nerddom into the fold. You want to draw more people if you can.
Right.
I mean, because I remember what was it? The 1 year, the first time Pokemon Go came out, and Gen Con was nothing but people doing Pokemon Go for the longest time, and everybody raiding and doing Pokemon stuff, which I thought was hilarious because you're there for board games and stuff and everything else. I'm like, nope, they're there for whatever makes them happy because it is nerd convention.
Yeah, and they're going to be doing Pokemon events there again this year.
Yep.
And there isn't anything wrong with it because those people aren't only doing Pokemon Go.
Correct.
They are doing other stuff too.
Oh, for sure.
So
there's always so much to do. It's ridiculous. As soon as we found out that Matt was able to go, because also too, man, if it wasn't, I mean, I would have ended up in the car 30 hours round trip by myself, which would not have been a good idea at all. So yeah, as soon as we found out that he was able to go and he was able to finagle the vacation, he's like, I got you, I'll be there. And I was
That's awesome.
Yeah, I turned around and I was like, bro. I was like, hon, you're going to be so overwhelmed. Wait until you see. You don't know.
What was funny is the 1 year I went, they were still allowing teachers to come in early. The hour early thing, which I thought was super cool because, hey, I'm a teacher, I get to go in. And I actually went to a couple of teaching, seminars that were there. And if you have that special badge, you get into the vendor hall an hour early. Cool. I actually stayed overnight in the convention just to make sure I was like second in line type thing to get in. Because I didn't want to fight the crowds. I didn't want to have to do any of that crap. And so while we were there, someone had posted up a picture and a video of people trying to get into the hall on the other side of the area. And literally, it's all, I mean, everybody's like ass to crotch trying to get in and waiting to get in. And
you know what? When you're a vendor now and you do get in at, an hour or so earlier than everybody else, well, you get in when you're a vendor maybe a half hour before the press and teachers and whatever, get in. But there's so many vendors that you end up with a big crush where the vendor entrance is.
Correct.
Now. And you've got vendors going, I have an exhibitor's badge, so I get to go to the front of the line. Meanwhile, all the other vendors who got there early are like, so do we all have an exhibitor's badge. So no, you don't get to go to the beginning of the line. So there's jerks everywhere.
That's true. And Gen Con's just gotten more and more crowded, more and more busier and busier every year.
Yeah,
it's like it's incredibly, like, oh my God. One of the tips and tricks that I told, what did I tell Matt the other day? Where he was like, so what do I need to, what can I expect, right? At first I told him, go through my Facebook and go through all the past pictures, so that way you could see, pictures of stuff that's there. And he says, okay. And then I sat there and I said, oh, and when you start to feel like you have to pee, go then.
Yes.
You go. You don't wait. You do not wait.
Right? I said, go then. Right then. Because by the time you get to the bathroom, you'll have to go pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, because you're going to have to wait in line.
You wait in line.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I told him. And then what was the other thing we would talk about? I said to him also, I'm going to the store after I finish talking to you, right? So I said to him, okay, so, you never did this before, but me, I have this down to a science, right? So I said, after I finish talking to Kathy and Gonzo, I said, I'm going to go to the store. Do you have any special requests of what you'd like me to pick up, right?
You need snacks.
Right. So I sat there and I said, is there anything special that you would like? I said, I know that you, like unsweet tea, and I could pick up some Powerades if you want for you, and this and that. And then he goes, well, that should be fine. He's like, he says, what did he say? Oh, he thought I was just referring to the drive. He says to me, well, I don't snack during rides really. And I said, dude, this is for the whole con. I said, look, let me explain to you what happens. Let's just say you get hungry and you say to yourself, and you say, self, I think I'm going to get myself a taco from Taco Bell. I said, guess what? That becomes a 2-hour excursion.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't just go grab a quick bite.
Now you can get some really good food around there because there's a lot of good. Usually they have a lot of good food trucks right outside in like the court area.
Oh, they
And
do, but even those have long lines and are
correct.
always stupid busy.
Yeah.
Okay, and there are peak times. Okay, but since Gen Con, like I said, over the years has gotten busier and busier and more crowded, it now you want to go get something. It's a whole excursion. So I'm so glad that from the beginning of me doing conventions that I always had it down where, you know what, I should probably have snacks with me, or oh yeah, I should have water with me, or whatever, because you should do that anyway, because one of the biggest mistakes that people make at cons is that they don't eat properly, they don't eat enough, and they don't stay hydrated.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
that's one of the biggest ways that you get con crud, because you didn't take care of yourself the whole week that you were there.
Correct.
Right? You sat there, you ate shit, and then you didn't drink shit, and then you
Except
sat
for-
there and you went out drinking shit, and
The
then you
only
sat
shit
there.
you're drinking is you're sharing from somebody else's bottle / flask / glass, and that's how you get the con crud.
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
you're eating out of their bowl of chips that several other people have stuck their grubby hands in.
yep.
That's how you get the con crud.
Yes.
When I was
Oh, yeah.
working at Offworld and we were doing 50-something conventions a year, selling the t-shirts at conventions, I got the con crud maybe twice, ever.
Yeah,
You know, because we didn't drink out of other people's stuff. We didn't put our hands into food dishes that 20 other people have been putting their hands into. So just watch what you're doing, you don't get the
Yeah.
con crud.
well, some people. The other thing is too is that people sit there. Another way that people get con crud too is not enough rest.
Oh yeah.
So because like you get, and then I get it, you get excited, you haven't seen your friends since the 10th plague, or and
There's
you're
too
like,
much stuff to do. There's
Oh
too
my
much
God.
stuff to do. You can't
Dude.
sleep.
I told him, I told him, I said, you wait. I said, there's stuff going on 24 hours a day. He's like, for real? And I said, yeah, like D&D, because he likes D&D too. And I said, the room where you play D&D is the size of 2 football fields, and people sit there and they play D&D 24 hours throughout the entire convention. And he was like, what?
Yep, that's where my pal Jack will be. The guy who sits to my left every Monday night at our D&D sessions.
Yeah.
Who almost died this past Monday again. But yeah, he's been doing that since the very first Gen Con. He's like almost 80.
Crimson 1919 wants to know how many showers, meals, and hours of sleep is a minimum you should do at Gen Con.
You should shower every day because, duh, okay?
No one wants that stink, and it is a hot and sweaty place, Indianapolis, in August.
Yes. It's gross.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It gets really hot in there, especially because of how crowded it is, how big the whole place is, and what have you, okay?
You're
you
shoulder to shoulder in the exhibitors hall.
True story, okay? So yeah, you should be showering every day, maybe even twice, like in the morning before you deal with people, and definitely after you deal with people, because that's another way you can get con crud, because you don't know who's already sick, and you're sitting there basically all together, 250,000 people, and then they're all touching on you and grabbing your ass and whatever. So, and then meals, you want to have your 3 meals a day, or eat at least 2 meals or
2
something.
meals and snacks and water.
Oh yeah, for
water,
sure. You gotta drink a lot of water. Like, no joke. You have to drink water. Like, I'm not even bullshitting you. I do that. I drink a green smoothie every day to boost my vitamins, and I take vitamins and stuff. Like, I don't play.
You know what? Oh, I
And
was
what?
just looking at John Spencer's comment in the chat. Isn't that the old Meanoth John rule? 1, 2, 3, at least one shower, at least 2 meals, and at least 3 hours of sleep. I was gonna say 5 hours of sleep, but that's
I would
just
say
me,
at
and I'm,
least, yeah. Yeah, you actually want if you could pull off doing your 8 hours, I say go for it.
the years that I had a hotel room downtown, I actually went to my room and I would just lie down on the bed for like a half an hour, whether I fell asleep or not, but just to relax and close my eyes and just detox from the people.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one thing is there's a lot. Some people that have never been don't understand that you are literally shoulder to shoulder when you're walking through the vendor hall, and it's so much noise. You need to every so often leave and go
And have
outside just
quiet
for a little
time.
bit.
Yep,
Just
you need quiet time. It's good. It's good for you because of stress and everything else. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you just need to decompress a little bit for sure.
yeah. There's definitely a decompressing time. I know that, like I said, whenever I was at waiting to get in, and I spent like the night at the convention hall pretty much. Because you're going back to what you were saying about it happening 24/7. There were people playing frisbee and building things and just having a blast in the empty hallways. And this was the day before everything was happening. But there was
Yep.
still tons of people. Like there were like 3 or 4 guys that were taking the entire length of a hallway and were playing like frisbee tag. It was amazing. Xander,
Oh
it
yeah,
can
and
be
then
a
there.
major sensory overload. It's just you've got to be so careful. If you have sensory issues, especially noise, you need to take it. If you're going to the vendor hall, take some earphones or whatever to block it out. But
Definitely.
there can definitely be a good sensory overload because
Yeah.
not only do you have everybody walking for the vendor hall, you also have everybody playing games, whether it's
Yep.
miniature, role playing, whatever.
And they're not all playing game. They're like sitting on the floor in
Yeah.
the hallway playing games.
Like one of
Or
the
wherever they,
times. Go ahead.
no, I was saying wherever they could fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one time when I was there, they were playing a game of Werewolf, which everybody knows is the card social game, and they had like
Yep.
400 people playing Werewolf. They had stretched them down a hallway and in different rooms, and they were playing like a 400-man Werewolf game. If that tells you,
I know that must have been crazy because sometimes you can just play with 6 people on that game,
yeah.
and it would take forever to deliberate who the friggin' wolf is.
Well, what they did is I thought was really neat is that each group they divided them up in groups of like 10 or 20 or something like that, and they would send people off to other groups and make them go help them out, and they would send like emissaries out, and it was amazing to see and watch. But also, if you're going to do any of the role playing games, like whenever I went and played stuff either I didn't play before or new ones that I wanted to play and test out if I was going to buy the product or not. And you get a room that can hold about 7 tables with 6 or 8 people around it in that one room, and it's still pretty loud because everybody's role playing and everybody's having a good time. So I mean,
Yeah.
you definitely the vendor hall is a very cramped area. Everywhere's pretty tight.
There's a
A
lot
noise.
of people. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of sweat. There's a lot of smells.
Yeah.
And you just, it's not, I mean, it's not terrible for somebody like me who can tolerate crowds and sweat and noise and everything. But it's just something to be aware of as you're going into it, that this is how it is.
And the
Yeah.
vendor hall is never empty. It is
No.
there's never going
Not
to be a
until they
time that it's going to
closed
be.
it.
Yeah. There's never going to be a time you're like, oh, I'm going to wait till the crowd dies down. There's never
Nope.
that in the vendor hall.
Nope, it doesn't happen. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to show Matt the bum rush to the door. I turn around and I told him because the first place he wants to go is the Forge World booth, right? Right? He's like, yeah. He's like, dude, can we go to the Forge World booth first? And I'm just like, well, yeah. fine.
Okay.
I said, but I said, you got to watch the bum rush to the door first. And he's like, no, we have to be at the door. Otherwise, how are we going to make sure we're there first? I said, bro, you do not want to be in that crowd. Because
Hold
this
on.
poor guy, he gets hot so easily, okay? I've seen this boy in his house go to, out of, what was it? I was at his house, so he went to the garage. He was in his garage to get something out of his car. He wasn't in the garage 30 seconds. He came out and he was just sweating. The poor guy was sweating. And so I knew he could not stand in that crowd of people. Okay? So I told him, you do not want to stand in that crowd. You watch the bum rush to the door because that's an experience. And then we go to the Forge World booth. And then he's like, but what if they don't have what I wanted? And I was like, that's life at Gencon, sweetie.
Very much so. I got a
my
video.
God, Lynn, I can't wait to meet Matt, and I want to be there with you guys on Thursday when
When he
you
sees the
watch
bum
the
rush?
bum rush. Yeah, let's
Because
make that happen.
I do it live, too. I do it live on Facebook.
Let's
show
make
people,
that
because
happen.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, say where to meet you, and I will be there.
Usually
All right.
what I do is I go to the second floor, so that way you can look.
Oh, look down, yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to open up something for us that
Yeah.
we can see.
This is last year? One of the
Yeah,
previous
this is
years?
last year's. I'll turn off the volume. This is the vendor hall for people waiting to get inside. This is not, and this is, the bottom, and everybody, and they open it up. They're around the doors. You can't get directly on the doors. You have to get in a little cubby. But this is how close it is, and how everybody, and they make a little announcement, la la la, hey, whatever. And it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of fast
And then
forward.
they repeat after the person at the door. I will not run. I will
There's
not yell.
Peter.
Yeah, see the little open area? That's the area you're not allowed to go to until they do it. That way nobody's squished against the door. And I'm going to fast forward. I watched this last year.
So basically, Kathy, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take Matt to the ledge so that way he could see over. Or even kind of to the side. Because actually last year I did it where it was kind of to the side, but you were still able to see the whole thing happen. And that was a good video angle too.
Oh my God, I had a friend who filmed San Diego Comic-Con because Offworld does that show too, and they're right next to the door at Hall A when people come piling in. And she put that up on Facebook, and I was like, yep. And they always have an announcement about clearing the aisles before the and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, and this is one of like 2 to 3 doors. This isn't just one door. This is one of like 2 to 3 doors.
Yeah, that's just one side of it. Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, this isn't. Yeah, and it just keeps on and keeps on and keeps on. So if you're going to go, you look on your map and go, "Hey, I'm going to go to Privateer Press first," and you go find the door that's closest to Privateer Press, and you go there.
Yeah. You want to plan out a list of booth numbers ahead of time. I already have my list on a memo in my phone so that I can just look it up and be like, oh, Privateer Press is this booth number. Otherwise, you're never going to find it. It's going to take you until Sunday to find it.
Yeah. Nope. You're telling the truth. Yeah. I told him. I was like, wait till you see, dude. You have no idea. Yeah. Because he was like, no, we have to stand in the crowd. How are we going to get to the bar? I said, bro, you do not want that drama in your life. It was like you sweat just going to the garage and coming back in. You cannot stand in that crowd of people. You'll die from heat,
Jade asked, "Oh wow, that looks intense. Is that what it is Thursday morning?" Very much so. That is it every morning. That is not just Thursday morning. That is every morning. That's what it's like.
Thursday morning's the biggest one because that's the first day and everybody's trying to get everything, all the limited shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's pretty much every day trying to get in there. It's that crazy. Which is, like I said, if you're not prepared for it, oh yeah, she's like my anxiety inducing. Yes. Very much.
Yeah, it can be. That's why I always worked there. And this year I will be going in with Jim to the Badger Airbrush booth ahead of time So I'll be in there as an exhibitor ahead of time. So I won't have to deal with that crush. I only have to deal with the exhibitor's crush, which is a bit smaller.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, well, the exhibitor one, I know. Like whenever I did it with the teacher pass, they checked your badge, 2 or 3 times before you even got in there, and then you went in one at a time. It was through one small door, and it was one at a time. So you couldn't crush in, but there was a long, long line of people to get in it. So just a heads up. Make sure you take some time away from Gencon and have some you time, because there is going to be some you time that you're going to need.
You need it, yes. But, I mean, all of this is like, oh my god, it's so terrible. I mean, why would people even go here? It's so much fun. It's really worth it. But you just have to be aware of what you're going into and take water and take snacks and take time for yourself, and you'll be fine.
Right.
So, Kathy, where are you going to be in Gen Con? You're going to be at the Badger Airbrush?
Badger Airbrush is, I believe, booth number 468. See, I already have it memorized. I was like trying to look it up on my phone, and I'm like, I don't even need to look it up. It's booth 468. That's where Jim is going to be doing airbrush demos all weekend long. And actually, I'm probably going to end up at the Armored Wolf booth, which is my friends do leather costuming and pouches and stuff. So they're going to be selling stuff. They're way towards the back of the exhibitors hall at booth 2665. And so I'm going to be spending a bunch of time with them. And I just found out my friend Kat is also going to be in town. So I'm going to spend some time with her too. So we're going to just hang out and bug the hell out of Trevor and Charity at Armored Wolf. That's kind of my plan.
So in other words, make sure you go say hi to Kathy at that. Give her crap.
Give me crap wherever you see me. I don't mind. I have my whole list of booths. Badger, Armored Wolf, Onyx Path Publishing, Broken Egg Games. Of course, I have to stop by and say hi to them. The Witchborn, which is the game that a friend of mine has been developing for years, and it's finally kind of taking off. So
I saw a playthrough of that.
It's fun.
It's interesting. It is actually really, really cool.
It's really innovative too. I mean, you can use whatever models you want to represent the player characters and the models, and then all the bad guys are run by an app. And I mean, it's really an interesting and innovative way to do a tabletop skirmish game.
Yep. It was pretty interesting. I watched Ash from Guerrilla Games did a playthrough of it. I thought it was kind of interesting.
Cool. So then I've got Pelgrane Press, so that I can say hi to Ken Heights.
I love Pelgrane Press.
The writer for Vampire. Panicult Games, Osprey Games, so some Crossgrave, Modifius Entertainment, so that I can finally get that demo of Fallout Wasteland Warfare. Happy Games Factory, somebody up the chat was mentioning Eden, the game, and so I got to go by there. Impact Miniatures, of course, Ironwind Metals, Butch Honig Sculpture, because he's a friend of mine and he does amazing bronze sculpture in the shape of tiny animals, big animals,
Kathy, you're cutting out.
Uh-oh. I'll just keep talking now. Door knockers, all kinds of stuff in bronze, and he's been doing it for maybe like 50 years. And Nigel Sade Art, Games Plus, which is one of the friendly sort of local game stores that's about an hour away from me. That's one of the closest ones. So I need to go say hi to them, of course. Stone Meyer Games, which did that legacy board game that I was talking about in a previous episode. episode,
Yeah.
Hearthstone Legacy. Off-World Designs, which of course is the people I used to work with selling T-shirts at conventions, and they also do all the merchandise for Gen Con. So of course, I have to stop by and say hi to them and buy my Gen Con merchandise from them. IDW Games, I can say hi to Ross. And they've got some games that I want to demo too, and I can't off the top of my head remember which things they have this year. Privateer Press, of course, got to go say hi to Dallas. And Mantic Games, and
Yes.
Games Workshop, and Theme Forge, and Dust USA, and Corvus Belly, and Days of Wonder for my board games, and USA Opoly, and Devir Games, Chaosium, Atlas Games, Cryptozoic, Gale Force 9, Fantasy Flight, of course, and Mini or Not. I mean, Simon, yeah, they're kind of distancing themselves from the whole mini thing. They're Simon, the board game company, I guess. So that's kind of my list right as it stands.
Just a few.
And
Yeah.
I have all of the booth numbers right next to them so that I know how to find them when I get to the exhibitors hall.
Well, I mean, there is so
You
much.
have to.
Yeah, you have to be prepared to go here. Whenever you go, you're just not just like, oh, I'm just going to walk around and say hi. I'm like, nope. You have to go. It's like a mission.
I've tried it that way,
Amen.
and it's not so fun when you have absolutely nothing planned.
Yeah.
You want to at least look at the website and see what things are going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially the vendor hall thing. You want to have a list of where the vendor halls are. That way you can plan your route. All right, I'm going to go here because I know I can get this really quick. I'm going to go here, get that. Oh, I'm going to have to wait in line for this. Like Fantasy Flight, you're going to have to wait in line.
And they have programs, and when you pick up your badge, you get the little coupon book, that gives you discounts at certain vendors and stuff. And the program is super thick, and it has a list of all the events, and it has a list of all the exhibitors and a map and everything.
Yep.
Maximum DT, I am totally going to try and get a Mon Pot game at the Privateer Press booth because I love the previous version of Monster Apocalypse. So I definitely need to do that. And Privateer Press is on my list.
Oh, for sure. That was another thing I had to explain to him, too. He was, like, looking at the vendor map, and he was like, well, was it him or was somebody else that was telling me? I don't remember. But it was all like, Fantasy Flight has 4 booths? Yep. And I said, oh, you've never seen a Gen Con Fantasy Flight games line.
Yeah.
It's not one of the most insane lines you will ever see.
Not to mention, part of those booths are tables for demo games.
Correct.
Absolutely. Oh, for sure. Well, he'll see all that. And it'll come full circle to him and he'll understand. But yeah, it was like 4 booths, and I was like, bro, you don't know. You've never seen a Fantasy Flight Games line.
Oh, it's insane.
That is no joke.
Yeah. It's a sight you'll understand that. Like, I remember when I went in the Fantasy Flight, I was like, oh crap. Well, I guess I know where I'm gonna be staying for a while.
True story though, dude.
Yeah, it's
so Lynn, are you staying at a hotel downtown or are you on the outskirts?
No. I'm since I'm one of the people that work it. I'm at an attached hotel.
Okay.
I always end up at one of the attached hotels.
Awesome.
I believe this year is JW Marriott, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check.
Nice.
Usually we always either get the Marriott or the Hyatt. That's usually what we end up getting. So pretty cool. Can't wait. Very excited. Yes.
With that, we are actually.
So
go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. We're almost done.
No. What were you going to say? We were actually what?
We're almost done with the podcast.
Oh, is that what you were saying? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Because we will hold off on minis and movies. Or not minis and movies. We will hold off on doing a media section next week. Which, Who all is going to be with us next week? Kathy, are you with us next week? You're not with us.
I am at Gencon next week,
Okay.
my pal.
So John and I will be on. We'll see if we can get another guest, just someone we can sit around and bullshit with. I almost got completed with this miniature. I need to do the eyeballs. Let me do that real quick. Yeah, so it'll be me and John, and I'll see if I can just get someone to come hang out with us. Maybe we can get Jackie or, whoever. We'll see.
Yeah.
And stuff, and we'll be dreaming of what it's like to be at Gen Con.
You gonna go be a Gen Can't?
Yeah, I have to be a Gen Can't.
Oh yeah, the Gen can't.
Because I can't.
It's okay, Gonzo. We'll still love you.
I need to find me a good ninja, so in case something pops up, I can go get this for me.
I don't know anybody who's gonna be there.
I don't know anybody either.
You know what? Somebody said that was a good idea. I don't remember who it was, but was telling me this good idea. Okay, so you know how like there's Uber and shit like that? That there should be, some kind of service or whatever for ninja shopping. Where like
Okay, funny story. The first time we went was the only time I went. I went with a friend of mine, Chris. And Chris was at the Privateer Press booth. And so he typed in Facebook on one of the sections, "Hey, I'm at Privateer Press. Does anybody want me to get me anything for them? You just have to pay for shipping, and if you give me a finder's fee, I'm happy for it." He says, you just got to pay for the model, shipping, blah. And some people will pitch in $5 to $10. So for 3 days, that's all he did was go back to Privateer Press, go from Privateer Press to the UPS store that was located there, and ship stuff off. His wife called him during this and bitched him out because his credit card was skyrocketed in cash. And she goes, stop, go look at the PayPal account. And what happened is, of course, people were PayPaling him the money to do it. And so he paid for his entire Gen Con trip from ninjing for people because they would give him $20-$30, to go
But
pick
on
up
the
a
other
rare
hand, I mean,
Yeah.
what are you doing at Gen Con? Why are you even paying for it if you're not doing anything except ninja shopping?
He did do other stuff, but when he could ninja shop, he would go in and get tons of stuff and come back out. He made his money back and more.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. No, him and I, we went and played a bunch of role-playing games too, but it was just hilarious because Privateer Press goes, "Chris, this is your 4th trip." They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, never mind." So, I mean...
yeah, could you imagine? Yeah, because people could sit there and make a shit ton of money doing that.
Oh, I know.
But then again, yeah. Then there's some cases that's pretty much all they'll do. So, I mean, there's that risk involved. People ask me all the time about ninja shopping, but I'm like, I don't even have time to shop for myself. How the hell am I going to have time to shop for you?
Correct. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So, all right, guys, we're actually about 6 minutes over. I know that we said, well, we're going to skip the media section because we were all talking and having a good time. I want to thank Lynn for coming on. I'm going to miss you.
Yes, thank you, Lynn.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I'm going to have to, we're going to find out time when we can get together because I won't be able to say at Adepticon.
No Adepticon this coming year?
No, I can't. I will not be able to go to the next Adepticon because of my new job. Not a big deal. Maybe the year after.
But hooray for your new job.
Yes, this job is actually really
true.
Cool. So we will do, John and I may do an extended media section because I'm going to be reviewing and look at this face and look how pissed off it is on Ready Player One. Holy
I'm kind of glad that you're skipping the review tonight because I wanted to watch that before you do the review so that we can all talk about it together.
So, but we'll have definitely, I got a couple other movies I watched. We got a lot of stuff going on, guys. Was it not as good as Casablanca? On a scale between Casablanca and Atlantic Rim, we're going below that.
Oh dear.
But guys, pay attention to Facebook. We've got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of things are happening. excuse our spam if it starts coming out. Our year anniversary is coming up, and so we've got a lot of things coming that we're super psyched about. So just keep your ear open.
Gonzo is going to be singing. Don't forget.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody pledges at the $20 level on our Patreon, he will be singing the Shania Twain song. What is it, Gonzo?
Which one is it? Feel Like a Woman?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta sing Feel Like a Woman. And if more than one person donates at that level, I will definitely sing 2 songs a month. So no big deal. Guys, check out the Patreon, figure out what's going on. If there's stuff on there. If anybody, if you have not received stuff from us from either Patreon or from our giveaways, please let us know. I know Solasar, I don't know if he's still in here or not, had an issue with the Broken Egg games. Hopefully he's got that taken care of, because we want our people to have our stuff. We are doing another dice order pretty soon after our thing with Broken Egg games, and be on the lookout for that. Keep it going, Xander. We appreciate everything you do for this. You're making... Guys, you don't understand how awesome it is for y'all to support us on Patreon, because you're making some of my dream things happen for this podcast. And it's some of the stuff I have in the works right now with Broken Egg Games, besides the stuff I showed you, is just... It's amazing. I hope everything goes through. I'm very, very humble for what y'all have done and helped us with. It's an incredible thing to have that. Like I said, keep an eye also on our times when we're going to be streaming. There's no longer a Tuesday stream. There will be a Wednesday one. John, I hope to get my Genesis book pretty soon, but I don't know if it's going to be there. I'm waiting for it, and we can also discuss that. What else?
I'll be streaming tomorrow morning, 10 to noon Central. That's Chicago time.
Mm-hmm.
So. And I'll be continuing my work painting these post-apocalyptic models, which way up at the beginning of this chat, I posted links to what they actually are. And they were from 2 different games that I have never heard of. So they're called Afterglow and the other Sulfur. 2 different post-apocalyptic skirmish games. So go figure. Anyways, I'll be painting those tomorrow morning.
Sweet.
Live on Twitch.
Also, like I says, school will be starting up again in a couple of weeks. So you may have some sporadic stuff from me. I'll still be doing stuff at night. So no big deal. Anything else? Lynn, do you want to pimp anything while you're here?
Do I want to what? Anything?
Pimp anything while you're here?
No, I don't have anything else to add. I mean, be sure to say hi at Gencon. Definitely that. Any of yous that are coming?
Any of yous?
Huh?
Any of yous?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Shut up. Lynn is really not from Texas, if you can't tell. So, yeah. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. We will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Stay out of trouble.
Laters.
Bye-bye.
This is the time where we talk over our ending music and crack jokes. So, we this is our after credit scene.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I ran out of bourbon. That is not cool. That was not cool to run out of bourbon while I'm painting.
Good night, John.
Night, John. Night, Xander. Night, Banyan.
Good night, Banyan.
Man,
night,
I am so jealous of y'all going to Gen Con. It makes me upset. Good night, everybody. I gotta figure out how to turn this off because that's always a problem.
I can't wait to see you, Len.
I can't wait to see you either. I'm so excited. Oh my God. So I just told